The most powerful feature we may find on Sales Mojo is the ability to create sales rooms for prospects. And in this case, let's go ahead and create a new room, signed in as Melissa, who is a sales rep. And the intent is to create a sales room for her prospect. In this case, it's Intel, who has expressed interest in learning more about HANA. So let me click on the Add New button from the dashboard view, which launches the 8 steps that we see here that are required to create the sales room. So the first step is to name our room, and in this case for now let me just use a room for Intel, and we can always update that later. We select the account name. We choose a sales room logo, in which I had loaded earlier based on a PNG file. On the description, we can see the WYSIWYG editor, or what you see is what you get editor, and we can actually type in a text description if need be. In this case, since we know it's HTML, I'm actually going to populate it with a banner or graphic that I had preloaded earlier by simply pasting on a source URL where this graphic is stored. So let's go ahead and click Next. The next page provides us with options on which products to associate with a sales room. In this case, let's go ahead and choose the HANA product by simply dragging and dropping the selection. From collateral, I can scroll down and see all of the options available. So what I'm looking for here is the fact scope document. So instead of having to scroll down, I can simply go into the search tool and type in a partial description. So in this case, I just type in fact, and the fact scope document appears. And I would simply drag and drop from the left column to the right. And another document I'd like to include would be the SAP More Info web link. So let me just write more info, and we see it here. I simply drag and drop once again. Go ahead and click Next. With regard to groups, let's go ahead and include the customer segmentation with HANA group. Then we can move on to the quick links. And here, let's go ahead and drag and drop the HANA products group and the customer segmentation with HANA group that we had created earlier. With regard to themes, we actually have 3 options here, along with the color themes, but we'll go ahead and select the default setting. We can get a preview on what our sales room will look like. Finally, with regard to publishing the room, the final step is selecting the contacts who I'd like to associate with this room. In this case, I created it for Dan and Tom at Intel, so I'll certainly invite them to the room, again, by simply dragging and dropping. With regard to my team members, let me include Bob. Let me include Brian. Finally, by clicking the checkbox on the left-hand side here, it would actually send an email invitation to the sales room, including the URL and credentials. Upon clicking publish, the email invitation sent and our sales room has been created.